Thanks for tuning in to Listens Live. I'm Sean Batty. We've got a great show for you today. Let's get right to the rundown. Show you who's coming up today on Wave Listens Live. Aqua Life Enterprises is joining us to talk all about their sunshades and how they can help you live the Aqua Life. We'll talk to them coming up. But up first, it's Elder Advisors joining us to talk all about their work and how they can help you from going broke in a nursing home. Joining me is Lindsay Fleming, Senior Vice President, and Autumn Schneider, Director of Client Services. Notably missing one Larry Weiss.
You know, and I was just noticing, I was like, sat back, I'm way more relaxed.
I am too. I'm very relaxed.
That's awful. That's awful.
We don't miss him.
Larry's traveling today, so he's going to be not joining us.
That is okay, but you know, you always want to call 855-LARRY-55.
855-LARRY-55. It is a number that works.
But today, hypothetically, don't really call this number. It's 855
Lindsay 55. Lindsay
Autumn 55 doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It's okay. As long as it's not Larry.
I'm excited for the day that we come on here and say, Larry is headed into retirement. Autumn and Lindsay are running the show now.
Don't worry. Yeah.
We've got it. I'm kidding, Larry. I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to take that joke well. But no, we want to talk about.
I'll pay for that later.
We want to talk about what happens when you die or when a family member dies. We don't want to talk about it really, but we need to talk about it.
And I'll just say too, talking about what happens when you die does not in any way hasten death. Like it does not make it come faster. And I think people are scared to talk about this because it's uncomfortable. But here's the thing, Kentuckiana, it's the great equalizer. It is not it's not an if, it's a when we pass away. And you know, you can stick your head in the sand and pretend like that's never going to happen, but the truth of the fact of the matter is it does every day. So will you be prepared? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
And then you got to ask, what's the next step? Why is it so important to have that plan in place? How do you even start to get that plan in place?
Right. Well, you call 800-763-7930 or head to our website. And that's what we do every day. We're helping families sort of navigate this process of what happens when they're gone. So let's take, we had a client who failed to plan, right? Nobody plans on failing, they failed to plan, and passed away. Now, this particular client had a will and thought everything was taken care of. She passed away. 17 months was the process that it took from the time that she passed away to the time that her family was able to recognize.
It was a very modest estate as well.
Yeah, she did not have $1 million.
Buku money, yeah.
Yeah, she did not have $1 million. And in this particular case, the daughter was a little bit older than us, kind of our age, raising children, working full time. And she just said, Larry, I can't do it. I can't be at the courthouse every time they ask me to. I can't handle this. And so Larry took on that role, and Elder Advisors took on that role as the attorney calls it the executor or the whatever.
The court appointed him.
To do it because it's so much work. 17 months that it took to navigate this, and people think I have a will, and you know, when you make an appointment with us, we're going to introduce you guys to fabulous attorneys, and because we're not attorneys, but fabulous attorneys in the area that are going to make sure that everything is tidied up for your loved ones.
To maybe avoid that will process. There's other ways to do estate planning that would avoid that for the kids. It's not really for us now. It's for the kids for later.
You're going to be partying with Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I ask
so
people,
they'll be good.
They'll be good, right? I ask people sometimes when they sit down, do you love your kids? I mean, do you want to make their road easier? If yes, you're an excellent candidate to call Elder Advisors and get those things set up for your children. It's for your children. These are plans that my parents both have, that Autumn's parents both have, that we have, but it's a gift for us. It's a gift for us, and it's peace of mind. It's very, very important. So I think families sometimes think, well, I have a will, so like I did it, and I would just come into Elder Advisors. That's sometimes a good start, but there's more that can be done.
And we'll talk more about wills because you're coming back for a second segment.
Yes,
I know we'll talk about wills there.
All kinds of time today.
Autumn, I know in your role specifically, you probably come across a lot of horror stories that people have told you about dealing with the situation in the past, but you also get to see what happens when they come to you guys and it's taken care of in a way that is effective for them, but is also personal and has that personal touch that makes things maybe a little bit easier. Why is it so important to have that in place? What is it about the things that could happen that makes it that much scarier?
It's so important because, first of all, your family is important, right? Your family's important. The dynamics are important. There's a lot of times that you say horror stories are, the folks come in and the siblings are not talking anymore because mom didn't set things up ahead of time, and they want this and they want that. Well, there's ways to go ahead and set that up now so there's not a problem. That can be avoided. That's probably the biggest problem that I've seen is the arguments. And whether it's 2 kids or 5, or it's worse when it's
we're both parents, and so it's like you think about what happens. My girls are never going to fight; they're never going to argue. But man, I mean, you get a house and a bank account with a couple $1,000s in it, and the claws come out, and that's what this type of estate planning prevents. It's you saying, this is what I want to happen. I want everything to be fair and equal. And a lot of people think that the will does that too.
It does, but it goes through a process
you
first.
have to go through that 17-month process in the case of
and
of
sometimes it's not the kids. You may have a child or 2, but you also want to recognize someone else that's in your family or a neighbor or a best friend, something like that along the way. And you can designate those things as well, because that person may say, well, Jim Bob wanted me to have his gun collection. Well, that son's not going to know how to do that. He may not want to do that, or it may have to go through the process.
And I'll share a story about it done right. So we had a family come in, and mom had passed away. She had done the planning with us, and the daughter came in, and it's just so night and day from the case we were talking about. 17 months stuck in this probate because she had a will. But this other woman had done some of the pre-planning, so the daughter came in and it was emotional. She just lost her mom. What do we do? And we just said, you just open the book. It's all, mom did it for you. Mom did it for you. And just to see the weight come off that adult child's shoulders, to come off, and just I think she wept with like gratitude that, for elder advisors, sure, whatever, but for her mom, for making that step and doing that. So I would encourage everybody to, our consultation's free. So if you're sitting there, you're like, what's next? Call us, go on the website, free consultation. We're sitting down with everybody in our office to talk about these things, and just get you going on the right path.
Yep, elderadvisors.com, 855-LARRY55, or today, in theory, 855-LINDSAY55. I know in these situations, you could be best friends with your loved ones, with your brother, your sister, but when emotions get involved, sometimes it's really difficult to do that, which is another reason a will is so important. And we're going to get to that because you've got a whole nother segment here with elder advisors. Yep, and not to sound cliche, when we come back, we'll talk about why, when there's a will, there's a way. We'll see you in just a minute.